4TC is a community challenge where you need to get to round 140 in chimps using only 4 towers. And for today's adventure, we decided to go with Spirit of the Forest, Psy, the M.A.D and The Anti-Bloon. Yes, I've featured The Anti-Bloon in multiple videos recently if you're watching my videos in order, but it is honestly one of the best towers for this scenario. So let us start off with, ironically enough, the Druid, as it's the only thing we can afford at this stage of the game. I put Druid on last for these first few rounds so that I can fully utilize the Pierce of Druid, as it's always firing in a straight line rather than trying to play chase with the balloons themselves. And we're going to be saving up for Psy next. We're on round 10. We can afford Psy. Hopefully we'll be able to place it as close to as possible to the Spirit of the Forest. There we go. It just gives its Psychic Blast as much coverage as possible within this square here. Psy is now at level 3, so we're going to be upgrading to Hard Thorns, Thorn Swarm, and for regrows we're going to go with Heart of the Oak. Okay, this is our first struggler here, so Psy needs to go back to first, and then once this round ends, we're going to go back to Strong. Being Strong is probably more recommended for Psy, since Psy can insta-kill up to a rainbow balloon at this point in time, which is a very strong start, really. On round 25, we can afford our Super Monkey, and we're going to go for camo detection right off the bat. We don't have to worry about lead popping because our Druid will be able to take care of that issue. On this round, Psy can solo the camo balloons that are present here, but when we get the next camo related round, we're going to be able to have ourselves an Ultra Vision, which means we'll have 2 means of popping camo balloons. But the first tier 5 we will be going for is the one and only Spirit of the Forest. It will crush the early rounds with a little bit of support here and there from the other towers. But Spirit of the Forest is always a very strong candidate for a lot of different scenarios because of its diversity there, but its map-wide coverage. Okay, we now have Ultra Vision, which we should have gotten earlier on, really, but who cares at this point? We've got it. That's the main thing. Doesn't matter if it's late, we've got it. As long as it's not too late for the game over screen to appear. The first mob is coming up, and we will crush this scene. And Psy, as you saw there, will take care of the ceramic set. If you've played chimps yourself, you know that you cannot use Jungle's Bounty on chimps. As you can tell right here, I'm pressing 2, and I'm pressing the button to activate the ability. So for those of you who keep saying that you can use it in chimps, you cannot, because you yourself have not played chimps to discover this factor. I'm debating whether or not to go up to Robo Monkey or keep saving up for the Spirit of the Forest, but we're going to take it by ear and we're going to leave this thing as a 022 for the time being. It's been worked out that it is statistically impossible for Psy to get the 2 Megapops achievement. Because if you look at Psy's leveling up, Psy only starts targeting Moabs at level 14, able to target BFBs at level 16, and can only target DDTs and ZOMGs at level 20. And Psy is a hero that levels up very slowly. So those are 2 big factors as to why Psy cannot do a 2 MP. Very difficult for a 2 TC. I would say Psy is better for a 4 TC than a 2 TC, because you have 2 other towers to cover your backs. Despite Psy being a very difficult hero to use early game, their late game coverage is going to be insurmountable for this challenge. The Anti-Bloon and the M.A.D can only go so far. Timed well, the levels 20 Psionic Scream will crush the balloons aside from the M.A.D itself. Oh, round 60, and we have ourselves a BFB here. Do we have enough power in order to take this thing down? Actually, we can use the Psychic Scream or Psychic Blast from Psy to hold these in place so that the Super Monkey can clear up the rest. Ah, I love this. Psy is popping. Oh, sorry. The combination of Psy and Druid of the Jungle means that regrows are a non-issue for this. And soon, very soon indeed, we will have Spirit of the Forest. There we go. So ceramics will be a non-issue for this entire run. Usually ceramics are a huge threat within most runs, but Spirit of the Forest says, nah fam, those don't even exist. What the hell is a ceramic? I feel like this Darting Gunner is missing out on some action, so we're going to put the Darting Gunner down, and we're going to go up. We'll go 130 for the time being. Laser shock +1 damage. Yeah, that's going to be really beneficial. Some people like to think that the bottom path is better than the top path, and I agree in certain scenarios. Like if you're only dealing with, let's say, balloons in this area, then bottom path will be better because of the increased pierce. But I'd like to be able to hit my targets rather than being able to hit as many targets as possible. But if I'm always missing them, then there's no point having the bottom path if you can't even get your initial shots to be hit on the balloons in the first place. Around 72, Psy is now at level 11, which means if you use Psychic Blast, you are able to use it 3 times with a single usage. So it blasts once, then blasts a second time, then blasts a third time. You know mathematics. Also, we're going to go up to Robo Monkey now. Round 75 is coming to a close with only a few more of these BFBs yet to crush. And round 76, what is that? It was nothing, I tell ya. There's nothing to be said about round 78. You are not missing much at all. And round 79 is definitely a bigger issue since, well, there are huge BFBs here, fortified ones, which definitely not a threat at this given point in time, but definitely a bigger threat than the ceramics or the camo ceramics that spawn out. Because remember, all 4 of these towers that we have can pop camo balloons, and for a 2TC and a 4TC, some means of camo detection, or we're going to go Tech Terror now. Some means of camo detection or a means of decamoifying balloons is incredibly important. Cough cough DDTs. Now, when it comes to the Anti-Bloon and the Tech Terror, or even the middle path in general, you'd always want to go top path because you have more than double the power per projectile. But because we are running with limited towers, it means we need that Ultra Vision. But what's unique about the Tech Terror's ability is if you have a knockback and the balloons survive, balloons get knocked back unless your name is Bad or Boss Balloon. Round 85, 2 ZOMGs. What are we going to do with these things? Well, we're going to crush them. Like so. The first one wasn't an insta-kill because it broke down to BFBs as you saw at the very last moment. But we will be using Rocket Storm. It's not necessary, but it is an option that we can do. Round 87 is famous for being more than twice the pain than round 85 simply because they have more health now and a bit more speed. But again, we can nearly insta-wipe the ZMGs with our Tech Terror ability. And why the placement of the Tech Terror, or soon to be the Anti-Bloon, away from these other towers? Well, it's because it has more coverage if it's placed over here than it would be over here. Like it's able to attack balloons sooner, and it's still able to target middle-class balloons when they're over here. And it gets a bit more range when it's the Anti-Bloon, so that is a thing. Ah, level 14 Psy, now it can finally target Moabs. At round 89, DDT's territory, and we dealt with all that. This is not a very good tower to use against DDTs, but we always want the hard thorns option so that we can actually do some damage to them, but also leads as well. It's needed for leads. Hard thorns, if you are not going for top path Spirit of the Forest, good luck. We have more DDTs this round. Let's just use the Rocket Storm for a tiny bit more coverage there. Round 95 is going to be quite interesting. because I think it's going to be a combination of both the Tech Terror and Spirit Forest, which are going to enable us to defeat that round. Because we're at round 94, and we still can't target BFBs with Psy. And when it comes to the Tech Terror, or you see that knockback there, that's not possible with the top path, cross path. But it is possible with the bottom one. It's only something that was implemented quite recently in one of the most recent updates of the game. And this is played in update 39.2. I still have some like blatant bugs, like Brickles' naval tactics ability and the void that happens when you play a challenger editor map, sorry, a custom map, sorry, and then try and select a normal map and the screen is just black. Like, I think those are two blatantly obvious bugs that still need ironing out. We just got these two ZMGs left and we instantly wiped birds. I think that's our third usage there because it's not normally that strong. So 2 fortified ZOMGs, what can we do against these? I mean, stuff. I mean, once I go down to ceramics, I'll have no chance, thanks to both our wonderful Spirit Forest and Psy as well. Ooh, 3,000 for the BFB. Nah, we're just going to let this thing level up by default and just go from there. Yeah, we've got this. We have definitely got this. With a combination of thorns and lasers, we'll be able to go through these ceramics. Round 98. And now this thing can target BFBs, which is lovely. So what we're going to be doing for this round, well, Rocket Storm is not going to be of huge benefit here, but it is there as an option. We knocked back the ZOMGs there. Sometimes it's not the ZMGs that are the biggest threat in round 98. It's the fortified BFBs. Oh, there's also this round where the fortified DDTs are a big threat, but not to worry. Clean our hearts out, clear our hearts out. Regardless, we've got this in the bag. No, I'm going to be saving up for the Anti-Bloon first and then get the M.A.D after that. But this is going to be quite tight when it comes to pops. Let's see. Yeah, we really need to time our abilities well here. Can we do it? We may need to actually go to the M.A.D first before getting the Anti-Bloon in this case. Let's use that again for a little bit more damage. And we are not doing too well. We're going to have to use the next Tech Terror when this is as close as possible to being popped without it actually like physically being popped, so that then we can insta-kill the things inside, mainly the DDTs. And we're going to have to use the Psychic Blast when we can. Let's see. There we go. That was a good use of those abilities there. So that is cleared up round 100 there without any tier 5s outside of the Spirit Forest. But I feel like I could have done those timings a bit better because Psy does take a long time for their abilities to come back. Oh, DDTs. Yeah, I feel like I'm going to need to backpedal on my plans here and need to go for the M.A.D before I go for the Anti-Bloon. Now we're so many monies behind, but this is necessary. This thing is good against Moabs. When I say good, it's amazing against Moabs, but it's only good against Moabs. That's why the M.A.D and Spirit Forest is such a strong combo together, because they both can cover each other's weaknesses. Round 105, and Psy is at level 17. Still, we're not going to be pressing this button at any given point in time, because we want to save up for the Anti-Bloon. We possibly would have got it by now if we didn't need to go for the M.A.D for round 101, but these things happen. Yeah, these camo balloons have no chance. Like, once you put down a Spirit of the Forest, it's like little balloons just don't exist. It's just so brilliant against those. Like, the only things that could really kind of hinder the Spirit Force when it comes to being able to pop the little ones is super fortified ceramics. 109. Let's see how far we can go with 109, and that's just decimated everything. Like the knockback on our tactile ability there really helped out with that. So where is Sai up to? Level 18 on round 110. Sai levels up so slowly. Oh wait, level 19. Destructive resonance is now much more destructive, and I included a word now in there because why not? So use protect her ability there. Soon it will be the anti-balloon. I reckon we'll get to level 20 Sai before we can afford the anti-balloon. At round 115. If you place Sai down at round 10, when you get to round 115, Sai is now at level 20. And this is going to be pivotal for targeting those pesky DDTs. Yeah, we're going to be making use of the psionic scream ability here when I feel like we're going to be completely overwhelmed by DDTs, because there will be some very heavy DDT oriented rounds here, with which, well, these can only do so much. And I'm saying this with not with a grain of salt. Like, I'm saying that the anti-balloon and M.A.D can only take us so far when it comes to all this. So doing this with actually, I'm just going to demonstrate this now. Just, it holds it all on screen, which is lovely. M.A.D use ability there. Going to use detect her ability there just for some extra damage. Put you down here. And yeah, the M.A.D is just, so the bad is just gone by the M.A.D there. And the DTs which spawn from the inside are just absolutely decimated by either Sai or something else. This could be one of the two options there. And yeah, I like that Sai, when you put them on strong, always targets DDTs first, which is lovely, because DDTs are sometimes the bigger threat. And around 120, we finally have the anti-balloon. What can we do with the rest of our money? Well, Sai's at level 20, so we can't really do anything, because we can invest in Heart of Thunder, because that's going to be pivotal towards our success. How are we doing pop count wise? Spirit of Forest at 3.3 million. Our M.A.D is at 3.4. This is unsurprising, just below 2 million, because we've got the anti-balloon at tier 5 last. Whereas Sai has a surprising number of pops, and this is only going to increase in time, because Sai insta-kills ZOMGs, DDTs, all the like. Sai doesn't do little bits of damage here and there. It's like no damage, or it's an insta-wipe. Oh, so many DDTs on this round, but we have the tools to take them all out, and Sai just held them in place. Like, Sai is such a good late game hero. Not as good as Adora or Azili, but I would say Sai is a very good third place, fourth place. Arguably Churchill is very good as well, but Churchill only has a certain amount of DPS that he has, but Sai, their DPS is geared around how much RBE the balloon has, and it doesn't matter how much RBE it has, as long as it's not a bad or a boss balloon, Sai will crush them. Round 135 sees us combating a lot of fortified sleigh bell DDTs here, in which, well, they're not going to be getting anywheres, and if they do get somewheres, we have our Psychic Blast ability and the Psionic Scream ability here. Round 138, got ourselves so many DDTs to deal with here. If we feel like we're going to be overwhelmed, well, guess what? Just hold them all in place. Use the M.A.D ability there, and we have dealt with around 139 squash. 138 squash. Round 139 only has these fortified Moabs, and there's so many of them. Yes, that could be the challenge, just the sheer volume of them. Now the big round, 140. Can we do this round, or are we going to be smeltering pot material for the balloons to use in order to fortify more of their bads? We shall wait and see. Another anti-balloon ability there. I don't think the damage done is affected by which cross path you do, rather than the fact that, well, only the primary attack is affected by which cross path you do. I really want to focus on this bad over here, so that's why I'm kind of pinning. Oh, I thought I locked on our bad there. Oh, our mad there, but I guess not. Guess not. Hello there. Are you coming out to play here, fortified bad? Are you coming out to play here? I should have reached a bad, really, actually. But no, I was talking about fortified bad there. And come on, anytime now. There we go. That is rather safe to do there. Just lock them all in place with Psy. And I think we have... Well, that was very close, but we've done it. Psy, just do your magic there and let's end this. So our biggest hitter here was the M.A.D here. But I guarantee you that our second biggest popper is Psy at 5.7 million pops. Our anti-balloon, because it was the last one that we got 5.36 million pops. And Spirit of the Forest only got 4.786, but Spirit of the Forest was absolutely pivotal for the early game there. So that, folks, is a 4-tower chimps going up to round 140. Let me know what you thought of this run, and let me know what other combinations that I can do. Like, I'd like to be able to do like a combination where I use a hero and then use a tier 5 of each of the paths. So in this case, we've only been using middle path. So I'd like to use one which utilizes the top path of a tower, the middle path of a tower, and the bottom path of a tower. But Psy is an incredibly strong hero for this when you get them to level 20. Watch the instruments. Okay, so we clicked on Psy a few too many times here. But we needed to, okay? You and your trumpet and your drums and your sound in general. It's such a creative way of expanding on Psy's otherwise psychic abilities. It's a different way of projecting that thought, but into sound rather than psychic. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. This has been a 4-tower chimps up to around 140. Using these 4 towers here. So 4TC, Spirit of the Forest, Psy, M.A.D, the Anti-Bloon. Don't worry, I haven't got M.A.D by just saying tab. I like to do a 4TC with Adora. So I'm wondering which towers I can use very well with Adora. So a decamifying balloon would be helpful. Or I could even just pair 3 very high damaging towers with a homeland defense and go from there. And then the pivotal part is when you use the homeland defense ability. That could be a fun challenge in and of itself, because villages are not utilized in a limited number of tower chimps because of the fact that, well, you're kind of limited to just 2, and only in very specific scenarios can you use a village as one of your 2 towers. Like I've seen a perma-charge and a either top path or middle path in order to utilize the perma-charge, and that's also, if you go middle path, then that is a all pops done by the perma-charge itself. But you have to get radar scanner before round 24. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and take care of yourselves. And do you know who else is going to say farewell? Lunarius on half cash. Wasn't this a fun scenario?